I'm glad today was the penny drop moment for you.
Yeah, literally, but the second is a penny drop. But I have helped 2 athletes become pro athletes. This is your goal. Okay, now how much time have you got to achieve this goal? Your body is really clever.
Brilliant. So welcome to what is episode 1 of Ask the Coach. The concept of today is to ask questions that all runners want to know if they had the chance to rub shoulders with essentially a professional coach. So I'm going to introduce to you today Dan, who is, in my opinion, Worcester's favourite endurance coach. Dan's boasting 10 years experience as a coach, and I'm going to let him introduce himself a little bit here and tell you about some of his best accolades, I guess.
I guess I've never really ever thought of myself as a professional coach, but I guess it is my profession, and
you are a coach.
And I do actually coach professional athletes, so I guess it does make me a professional coach.
I'm glad today was the penny drop moment for you.
Yeah, literally, but the second is a penny drop. So accolades. I mean, I guess I've coached. We all start off a bit sort of at a lower level, but for 10 years. Gaining experience, gaining qualifications, and I'd say the last 5 years the screws have really turned and I've really become a professional coach.
And how would you define that role then? So as a professional coach, who do you coach? What are the sort of...
I would say, truthfully, like there's a lot of coaches out there now who call themselves coaches, but they don't actually have a qualification to back this up. And I do think you don't have to have a qualification to be a good coach, but I do think you need it. I think it's
valuable experience. Yeah.
Yeah, you will never find a professor of science without a PhD, more than likely. So
one that's trusted anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure. But there may be professional scientists out there who are fantastic. I can't say there isn't. But I do feel like you need some. So it does take time to get that, to gain those qualifications. Whether you need them or not is irrelevant, but you actually do need them to do it by law. Yes.
What are the main ones that you've got then?
I guess the biggest one is I'm currently doing a PhD, so that backs up my knowledge, I guess. I've gained British triathlon accreditations, I've gained UK athletics accreditations, I've gained personal training accreditations. So, yeah, there's quite a lot. I guess my main thing is, one of the biggest self-promoting things is I've managed to get, and obviously this isn't just me, the athlete obviously does a lot, but I have helped 2 athletes become pro triathletes. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's quite a nice thing to have done. And I feel like it's becoming a bit of a niche that I'm trying to help athletes become professionals. It's harder to do it in some sports, but triathlon, there are avenues you can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is it that kind of got you into this coaching? Because your background was teaching, I think, wasn't it? So what was the transition? How did that take place?
So I like acquiring information and breaking it down and sharing it to people, because some people feel like information is hard to
it's why coaches exist, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because we all learn in different ways.
Yeah.
That's literally a thing. But I would say I feel I've always had an ability to make something that might be smart. I've got this really innate ability to make it not sound as smart as it is. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know.
Well, you're making it interpretable, I guess, is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Taking the science.
And making it more, almost dumbing it down for people, I guess, which helps so they can understand it and utilise it and use it.
We need it more than you know, so thank you, Dan.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
That's something don't put things on a pedestal. It's accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
And then I guess I just allow that to fuel people's ambitions to become better at what they want to do. There's endurance sport has a very good ability to allow people to achieve what they want as long as they've got a passion, time, and drive.
Yeah.
And I facilitate that through making it easier for them to do it. And it doesn't always happen, but I like to think my success rate is quite high, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you clearly sound really passionate about it all. I can feel that from you. Yeah. When you meet people, what's that kind of onboarding process like? So when you meet somebody and you're trying to assess, their goals, to what extent are you considering, their limitations potentially or abilities, and how much are you having to manage expectations, I guess?
Yeah, it's a good question, actually. Like what... I guess when I just want to talk to someone. Yeah, that is a really good question, actually. I guess you need to talk to them. You need to understand what they want to do.
Yeah.
So understanding what they want to do allows you to then almost work. It's easier to work sort of backwards in terms of like, okay, so this is your goal. Okay, now how much time have you got to achieve this goal? And then it's like, okay, so you don't work. You're a student. Okay, so you've got a lot of time. And then it's, okay, well, what's your athletic ability? Oh, okay, you run a 16-minute 5K. Okay, so actually you're...
How many people do you meet that can do that?
Not many. It's quite a talent. Okay, you've got a 20-minute 5K, a 25-minute 5K, but you want to do a 40-minute 10K, but the only thing you've done is a 5K, and you go, okay, well, you've done a 25-minute, okay. And then you start doing little bits of like, okay, well, so that means time isn't an issue. There might be a slight lack of aerobic ability or power or strength. So then it's like, okay, well, what do we need to then do to allow you to get to where you need to be?
And is it your view that all people have capacity to grow, or do you ever have to manage expectations on that?
They definitely have a capacity to grow, but
Okay.
the expectation, I mean, if someone comes to me and they say, I want to do a 12-minute 5K and I run a 16
and set a world record.
Yeah, set a world record, I have to say, yeah.
And so interestingly on that, have you ever had to say that to somebody? Have you had to really bring someone down to earth and then align their expectations with reality?
I wouldn't say, I'd say no, not in a like, we need to have a chat. No, I would say it's more
quite an awkward conversation.
Yeah, it's actually more like I let them come to the conclusion themselves when you show them what they need to achieve their expectation, and then they go, I haven't got the time for that.
Is that the biggest thing then? So you said time is your
big, yeah.
biggest consideration.
Time is massive.
Yeah.
And not just for training, but for recovery.
Okay.
Because you can't just do something and then just like go to work straight away, and then because you're not recovering, you're like, I don't know, you could be a bricklayer. So like you're like, okay, I'm gonna do, and this is obviously amateur sport when we're sort of talking to the normal person here.
Yeah.
But you could want to run a sub 1:30 half marathon, which is a nice goal.
Yeah.
But you are a bricklayer who works from 7 till 5. And you might be very well paid doing that, so that's your job. But yeah, actually this dedication of a hobby also needs some time. So it's like, well, you run a 140, you want to do this, but if you run for 2 hours in the morning and then you go and bricklay all day, you've basically just not stopped training from 5 a.m. till 5 p.m. and you're physically exhausted. Like if you think about a pro athlete who wants to do this, triathlete, whatever it is, a cyclist who wants to join the Tour de France, and they have a job in a shop where they sell trainers and they work from, I don't know, 9 till 6 or something some days. Well, that day is going to be hard to train. Yes, you can, and you've got that whole let's go get it done, but that only lasts for so long because you can end up exhausted.
Yeah, it's a really contentious point, isn't it? Because I think there's always that crossover when somebody is a junior athlete or a starting out and they're working and trying to train. And it's an interesting point I want to pick a bit more about for you, because recovery is something that I don't think I understand fully, and I think people would like to get a better grip from you about. So you're saying that you go do your training in the morning, and then there's a period of recovery that needs to take place, which is absolutely imperative.
Yep.
Just talk me through the science. So what's happening to your body? What are the things that you need to do to allow the best potential?
Yeah, I mean, effectively you are breaking down your muscle fibers. Depends what you're doing. So you need supplementation to help you with that, which obviously leads very good to your product yourself.
This is our recovery coffee, yeah.
This is the recovery coffee. So collagen, getting a lot of press at the moment because it actually helps. Like I've talked to you about it. We spoke about this in the past. It's about timing. So recovery, effectively you are, in a way, you are breaking down your muscle fibers.
Yes, if we take the example, it's a hard training tempo run.
Yeah.
You've completed that in the morning. What are those sort of coach advice steps that take place next to get the best from that?
So you're depleting your glycogen stores. So they've got to carry. So if you're then going from this, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what they're doing after, but what happens after is important to consider, because if you don't replenish your glycogen stores before you go to work, you're going to suffer more.
So if it was you, what would you be doing to replenish?
So obviously it does depend on the session, but
Okay.
you know, making sure that you're getting good proteins, good carbohydrates in, and then you can use supplementation. So it could be you're taking a whey protein shake to get 30 grams of protein in. Could be taking collagen to replenish ligaments, tendons. Could be you're taking creatine to help growth and replenishment. All those things come in together to help you effectively make yourself better than you were before the training session. But realistically, the best recovery after training is to sit down.
Do you think it's the thing in the industry where people are possibly overlooking the benefits?
A little bit. Like if I could sit down with an A1 Physique coffee after my training session, I bet you any money I'll recover better than you who has to go to work and sit in his car, has a quick shower and goes, no matter what you eat.
Okay.
You could eat everything in the cupboard in 5 minutes, chuck down loads of creatine, loads of whey protein, anything you want, have a shower and jump in the car and drive to work and start work. If I just sit there with an A1 Physique coffee, don't necessarily rush to replenish my glycogen, and just sit for 10 minutes. My body will do a lot of that. Okay. Your body is really clever. You have to help it. So by having some collagen and even a bit of caffeine to, you know, make you feel good.
Caffeine's personality in the morning for me.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. And then having food is going to, you know, you're going to settle. You're bringing your cortisol down. Like people literally don't talk about this enough, but they're on like a cortisol train. They literally just like wake up, have a coffee, go for a run, go to work, come back. You're literally at no point in the day is your cortisol lowered.
Okay, so it's recovery, collagens, proteins, etc. First thing. Yeah. Give yourself 10 minutes if you can. So set the alarm 10 minutes earlier. Yeah. Sit down for 10 minutes after. Get the benefits. Don't brute force it and then go to work. Try and have a recovery period. Literally. What's the next step?
In terms of nutrition or?
Yeah, so all the steps that you would take if it was you, if you were doing absolute best practice.
Depends. I mean, obviously there's been loads and loads of, it does depend on the session, depends on what you want from it. Like loads of people at the moment are doing like everything's cold showers, cold.
Okay, so
lunges.
There's a bit of conflicting science on the cold therapy. So it does affect, I think, muscle hypertrophy.
Yeah,
correct
absolutely.
About that. So
like
your thoughts?
This has been around for forever, but I don't know where this information has been like misinterpreted or marketed, but literally if anything's cold, it stops. It freezes. Like it's the deal, isn't it? It's freezing.
If you get swelling, you're trying to cold.
Yeah, literally, you're bringing the inflammation out your body. Like inflammation, a little bit of inflammation is good for adaptation.
It's essentially what you're expecting. So if you do a hard session, inflammation is a positive outcome. Yeah, right. For growth.
You don't want it there forever,
but it's going to be a natural process of growth.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. 100%. Like it's your body's way of going. It's like whether you bang your arm or whether you stress your muscles out, it sends it there to help you recover.
Yes.
It's like to protect you. And I do get that we need that inflammation away. Like if you're footballers will do it, but then that's because they're going to do their next session in the afternoon. So like they need to recover quick. Whereas a lot of the people who listen to this podcast are probably only going to do one session a day. Yep. Which is normal, isn't it? You know, normal people do one session a day.
Might treat myself to a day off on a Thursday occasionally.
Yeah, you may do a 2-session day where you've done a run in the morning and a gym session at night, or a bike in the morning and a run in the evening, or anything, you know, bit of paddle, whatever you want to do, anything. And if you have that cold, it just stops. It stops adaptation. So if anything, a bit of heat helps because you actually adapt more. Like there's a big thing at the moment now. It is slowly picking up. Is sauna treatment. So you do something and then jump in the sauna. The only problem with the sauna is you can't measure the stress. There's no measurement of stress. So people sit in that sauna and they like, you know.
I actually leave the Garmin on if I'm in the sauna, and it just, if I get to a stress point, I think that's enough. I'm cooked.
There you go.
So all you need to do is have a home with a sauna and a cold plunge, and you'd be a perfect athlete.
Absolutely, yeah. Brilliant. And a chef.
And a chef, okay. Okay. So I want to talk about some topics in the industry which have grown in popularity over the last couple of years as more and more people have got into running. One of them is the thing you hear all the time: run slow to run fast. There's a lot of science around that. You and I have worked on this me personally, so I can advocate for the benefits, but for the benefit of everyone else understanding, can you explain how that
Well,
works?
how about this? How about you explain to me
Mm-hmm.
what you went through when you first did it?
Pain.
Like, yeah, okay, yeah. Just give me,
an entire ego death, pain. It's a humbling experience trying to run in what we class as zone 2 heart rate. So, what is it, 70 something % of your total heart rate, give or take. So 140 beats per minute, give or take. What you find is that it's actually very difficult to stay in that heart rate zone. And that's because I don't have, as far as you explained, enough of those type 1 muscle fibers. I don't have enough of those slow twitch endurance muscle fibers. And so it's a process of continuation, believing in it, essentially, time on the tarmac and just sticking to it. And then I guess over the course of our relationship, the pace at which I can do that has dropped by about a minute a kilometre. And it's made a massive impact to my own essential speed endurance, hasn't it? So for going through those painful months, year or so, of just running, trugging along in zone 2, walking, to be honest, it is what it is. As soon as the road pitches up for some, if you're starting out and the road pitches up 1%, your heart rate's going to go into zone 3, which, is in the I guess the late 140s, early 150s, and you're going to have to walk. So it's very humbling. So my experience is ego death, trust the process, do lots of time on tarmac in that heart rate zone, walk if you need to, and believe in the process.
Now, one question I will ask you is, how much hate did you get on Strava for running in zone 2?
None
is probably the answer, really.
Because
no one comments saying, "Oh, you did a really rubbish zone 2 run today," did you?
Exactly. So it's in your own head, isn't it?
It's in your own head, yeah. It's completely in your own head. Don't get me wrong, I'm one of the lucky people who can run quite quickly in zone 2, so it's all right. Like, I don't get any hate on Strava. I don't even matter.
People don't know that you're in zone 2.
No, they just don't even. But it's because it's been a long time. I've done it for a long time. However, I did go through it. Like, I went through the same process of I can't physically not run a 7-minute mile pace. Of course I can't. I'm this athlete, so I need to do this. Because if I don't do this, then I will not be cool.
And everyone gets caught in their head about that.
Yeah, definitely. And I get it. And it is, some people, like, I never forget someone, when I was training out in America, and we were talking about an athlete called Geisler, and he was like an amazing American athlete. Like, he's incredible. He famously used to train Mo Farah. And he'd be doing his zone 2, but he'd be ticking along at like high 3-minute K pace.
Okay.
So people would only ever see the high 3-minute K pace, and then Galen Rupp would be like, you need to do a lot more zone 2. So people hear what he's saying and see what he's doing, so they want to like copy it.
Okay.
So they're like, zone 2, high 3-minute K pace, sound.
No.
Not many people can do that.
I think I'm in zone 7.
Yeah, this is fine. But like, it's because he's an Olympic athlete who runs like 12 minutes on the track, So it's like, but he was basically transferring to be a marathon runner. So he was like, I need to do a lot more zone 2. And even though he's probably extremely aerobic, you were coming from a very type 2 based muscle fiber, which actually a very talented type 2 athlete. Like your actual like speed is incredible.
Are you flirting with me now, Dan?
A little bit.
Okay.
And I do get very like, whoa, when I'm looking at your data, because it's like, how do you run that fast? Because I struggle to run as fast as you.
So what are you looking at in data that's telling you that I'm fast?
This was a good question actually, because there's a really, really cool word that I like to use, and it's called decoupling.
Okay.
And now decoupling, obviously I'm looking at your pace, but then I'm also like looking at your heart rates. So you combine two things together. So you're basically looking at pace and heart rate, and that allows you to assess how someone's getting on. So I look at your zone 2 work, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, like your heart rate's, it's actually, it's come down, it's really good. So I'll go heart rate to pace, what's going on, heart rate to pace, heart rate. And that's why I try and get people to, try and educate them, and it's like heart rate to pace. You'll see your heart rate stay the same, but your pace is slowly going to come down because you are recruiting more mitochondria. The denser the mitochondria, the more ground contact you have, the more your body can sort of like deal with lactate and basically make you quicker.
It's really weird. Like the whole transformation has been like it was a click moment where it was a real struggle. It was 6 minutes plus per kilometre to do it. And then one day it was all of a sudden 5:30, 5:40.
Yeah.
I thought, it's all worked. Yeah.
You have kept your speed. So then I look at like when we do efforts and speed and that, and your heart rate hasn't changed really. So when you've been doing faster work, your heart rate does obviously go up when you do 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. But that's not really changed, does it?
No. And actually, the peak of that heart rate has come down. So actually, at the peak of a hard effort for 3 minutes, I could be in the sort of mid to high 180s.
Yeah.
It doesn't go above the sort of 180 now.
So effectively, you've become a little bit more aerobic, but like effectively, you've done races where you can still push your heart rate high.
Mm-hmm.
So you've now got this like nice span. So you're now like, I don't know.
And this is
stretched you out a little bit.
Yeah. And this is what people want, basically.
Yeah.
So your tip for people that want to be fast and endure that speed is
fast. What? So they can suffer.
No, as in do what I did essentially. So
yeah, I mean, but you were so you were coming from a very like so you've got a lot of speed and power, but to create speed and power is hard.
Okay.
I don't care what anyone says. Getting aerobic is easy.
Okay.
That's a slight harsh comment. Becoming aerobic is easier.
It's basically a process of time.
Yes, but producing power and speed
is that a genetic thing, or has that been through strength and conditioning training, do you think?
Well, if you think about all your training in your past, you've probably more geared towards explosive training.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is built that amazing speed and power.
Okay.
Now, if you've got this speed and power, which is really hard to get, you can train it. You know, running like at the moment. There's this big thing where lots of kids doing loads of volume, like they're doing 10Ks, 5Ks. Yeah, but if you don't keep the speed and power when you're young, trying to get it back when you're like 25, 20 is hard. So if you train it out of kids, they're not going to get it back. Like they're becoming very aerobic, which is amazing, you know, and they're doing all these really fast 5Ks. But yeah, I know, but like there's going to be a ceiling. But if you keep running fast, if you keep staying as fast as you can for as long as you can, you're going to have a higher ceiling, you know. If you're So you might not be the fastest 5K runner at 16. Yeah, but you can run a 3K really fast. But you've got your aerobic base suffers, so you haven't got that extra 2K. And people would argue with me about this, you know. I'm not. This is my theory, and
it's worked though for your athletes.
Yeah, it does work. Yeah, but I just know that keeping speed and power is really important.
So lots of zone 2, but do not neglect the speed work.
Do not neglect the speed and
So
power.
if I think for most people that listen to this are going to have 3 to 5 max opportunities a week to train.
Yeah.
How are you structuring that for them?
If you got 3 runs, it depends on your goal. That's the problem. So it's always your goal.
What's the most popular goal for people that come
marathon?
To really?
Everyone's a marathon runner.
It's the sexy one that you get. Yeah. Everyone loves the marathon. Okay, so you're training for a marathon. You can train 3 to 5 times a week. What's your split? How are you doing that? You
can't neglect a longer run, but that doesn't necessarily mean don't start out. I don't know, let's just take someone who just does. Someone's just starting and they're like, I got a marathon next March. April time, you'd got, I don't know, one of them, Manchester Marathon or something. So they come to me, there's 8 months. You go, okay, well, you need a longer run. Now, that long run could be 45 minutes.
Okay.
Because this could be someone who's just starting out. Now, the problem is they see long runs and they see 90 minutes, 100 minutes, 200 minutes.
So it's relative.
A relative longer run.
And you're doing this basically, you're crafting this around the individual and their current circumstances.
Always.
That's the most important thing.
100%.
Don't go and download something off the internet, speak to a coach.
Yeah.
Get a plan.
There's so many of us out there.
Yeah.
You know, some are great. Some are not so, but you don't have to stay with someone if you don't enjoy
Where can people find your coaching, Dan?
They can go on Instagram. They can go online.
What is it? Club Coaction?
Club Coaction, yeah. See, it'll be in the comments. Or in the comments or in the link. There'll be a link or something.
We'll make sure it's available for everyone that's listening, yeah.
But a longer run, a run that is shorter, like a maintenance run, and then a run that involves some kind of speed. Now, that could be 10 seconds. That could be 20 seconds. If you're a first timer, this is hard. Like, you're trying to run for 10. But what that does then is it's starting to create speed and power. We're trying to become more stiff in terms of ligaments, tendons, because we want that transfer. We want form. Because if you've only got 3 runs, you've got to be optimal. So some kind of, could be hill reps.
So you've got long run hill reps.
Yeah, and then some kind of maintenance run, to be honest.
So the long run would be zone 2.
Long run would have to be zone 2. And then it would be like a zone 2-3 run for like 30 minutes.
So some sort of tempo sections in there.
Something like that. If you've got 3 runs.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
I think that's more accessible for most people.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, and anyone can do it. But it's just making sure you start at the right place.
Okay. So Dan, I want to ask you some more straightforward questions now, just things that I think people would want to know from a coach. So in terms of running shoes, you can clearly go and spend lots of money. I would suggest that you have your own shoe wardrobe probably as a coach, which I think's fair. You know, why not? You're a coach. A couple of quick questions. What are you recommending? If you're recommending more than one pair, what are you coupling them with? Bear in mind, people have got limited budgets. And then would you recommend going to see somebody in person to be fitted?
Am
I going to get a controversial take from you now?
You could, yeah. You could get quite... This could be quite a controversial one, actually. Okay. Truthfully, the right thing to say is, yeah, go see someone.
Okay.
However...
Have you ever done that yourself?
No, never.
Okay.
Never, ever,
Not even at the beginning? Never even thought about it?
Never crossed my mind.
Okay.
I think now you can buy so many shoes online and send them back.
Okay, so online accessibility unfortunately means...
it's made it really easy. It's been quite easy for a long time, to be completely honest.
I think my own personal experience, the reason I asked this question is because I did go for a fit-in. I think it's quite common for people to suffer with like little niggles. So ankles, knees. So for me,
it's because it's the lack of understanding. So a fit-in is a good place to start. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're a beginner starting out, fit-in, you're not writing it off.
No.
Okay.
My worry is when you go for a fit-in, it's very rare that shop sells every trainer.
And they're not going to be that impartial.
No, because they'll sell 2 or 3 pairs of... And you know, each company has their own neutral shoe or whatever it is. But I find that if you go to a shop, they'll do Nike, Brooks, and Adidas. I'm just picking some out. Probably have to...
I've never seen Nike in a fitting shop.
No, never ever. There are other products available. Maybe shouldn't. We might be. I mean, this podcast is going to be so successful. Nike and that are obviously going to hound us.
I tell you what, Dan. If Nike hear this podcast, it's a great problem to have.
It's a great problem. We'll be sued by Nike and become really famous.
Or they could sponsor.
They could sponsor us. Yeah, like and subscribe. But that's my problem with going to a shop like that. You're right. They never do Nike. Now, okay, Nike are probably one of the cooler brands. They've had a lot of slack of late.
And that's why I'm asking. I think there's a thing around brand and association. So you assume that brand Adidas are kind of just the ones to go with. Yeah. It happens to be the most expensive. Yeah. And
the most successful.
Well, and I think that you use Nike whenever I see you.
I do, yeah, normally, yeah. I do buy others.
Okay.
But then I always end up buying Nike again.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I try to actually go, there must be better trainers. Not better trainers, that's not very nice to say to Nike. There must be other trainers out there that are better for me. But Nike are actually quite neutral.
You've probably just fit into them and it's worked for you, like ergonomically, just naturally. Yeah. I think my experience was that actually they're quite aggressive. So... Yeah. When I used, like, say, Vaporfly, for example, very aggressive.
The new ones aren't.
Okay.
But you're right.
My knees, I feel like I'm going to be in A&E after I've done a 10K.
That's fair enough.
So, you know, my experience of fitting was that it added value and actually it allows me to do...
what did they say?
So you're able to look at actual foot size.
Okay.
Gait.
Yeah.
And then talk about the use of the shoe. So for me, it was daily mileage. Yeah. Maybe a bit of tempo stuff, but basically lots and lots of daily mileage that was going to protect my knee. I think runners, when I see forums for runners, they're talking about knee niggles, ankle niggles, and I guess it's assessing gait, stability, and your own running style. So I got on a treadmill, put on some Mizunos, and I've never looked back. I would never have looked at that.
How can you can't, I can't discredited that's an amazing thing to do. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
I would just caveat to the fact that the knees thing, I don't know if that's trainers.
I've just broken, basically. Should I get looked at?
No.
Do I need health insurance?
Like, I feel like it's more a recovery standpoint thing.
Okay.
Or it's a load standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, like, I have worn so many different shoes. The only thing that I have got is when I, like, pronate in a certain pair. So I'll have, like, IT band issues or something, which could be a knee thing. But what do you mean when you say knee? Like, in your knees? I think stiff knees or something.
Yeah, what I found, and it's something
collagen is what you need, mate.
No, but that's what I mean. So I don't have the problem now. So it's
clearly worked.
Clearly, it's the collagen protein coffee, but it's I think it's a combination of having a fitted shoe that just because everyone's different, right? So
100%. Yeah.
What's comfortable for you?
Yeah.
So I find that the Alpha Fly, I'm just not over the moon with it, but I think you love it. Vaporfly, there's nothing faster for me to run in.
Yeah.
But I pay the price in terms of there's no protection.
Yeah. And honestly, like if anyone actually listens to this, they'll be screaming at us going, I use Brooks, I use
And please
Asics.
share that information.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Comment on it. We want to see.
Through the Instagrams, through the comments, please let us know what your experience has been with either fitting, not fitting, trying different brands.
Yeah.
As I say, I moved from Nike to Mizuno for daily, and I've had a much better experience. I've done, I think, 1,200 kilometers this year. Yeah. And my knees are holding up.
So when was this knee problem?
No, so it's when, I think it's a volume related issue. So if you run in something that doesn't have adequate protection for you, and you
like when you see everyone running in like Vaporflies and that.
Why would you do that for daily? Crazy. Also, the price of those shoes.
Well, they've got money to burn, mate.
But it's the acceleration of volume without the adequate protection
and recovery.
Exactly. So I guess it's a learning process. So for all runners that have had a knee problem, sit down for 10 minutes after your run.
Yeah.
Drink some collagen in your coffee.
Protein, yeah.
Relax and maybe get you some shoes fitted. Is the outcome of today.
No. I would say that, I would say go for a fit-in. It's easier than chatting to your mates is fun about it. But actually, if you go for a fit-in, they'll tell you properly.
And actually, there's no obligation to buy when you get fitted. No. So just take the information. It's available.
You will rarely not come out with a pair of shoes.
Because we all love buying shoes.
Yeah, we all love
buying shoes.
Yeah, and they'll definitely be an offer.
And that sort of leads into the question about carbon plates, because I actually only learned about carbon plates this year when I got into doing high rocks, and I realised that all the world champions wear carbon plates. And I was like, I must need some of these then to race in. This must be how it works, right? I guess my understanding is it's energy return. My concern is that training in them regularly, and I want you to sort of give me your opinion because I'm not the coach. Is that a good or a bad thing?
See, I don't have mixed opinions. I have mixed opinions on many things.
Okay, this is good.
I just have my opinion.
So we can have
never mixed opinions.
You know, we have quite a strong opinion.
Yeah, strong opinion. Yeah, which we all know isn't necessarily a good thing. I do change my opinions with a good active conversation of information. I find if you don't use something in training, how can you ever utilize it to be 100%?
So you basically, my thought, and it's not fully thought through, is that you litter it into the faster sessions.
Yes, I would agree.
But not 100%.
No. I mean, what's the difference between cushioning and carbon? Like,
do you know what it is? I think
that sounded stupid. I know the difference, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, why could you not always run in carbon and why could you not always run in cushioning? Surely your body adapts to whichever one. Like, because a carbon, realistically, is hitting the floor. That's probably going to take quite a lot of load. I
think what it is basically going to go back to your point, which is the thread of this podcast is recovery. Because actually, if you do a really hard session in carbon plates and then don't recover, of course you're going to come out with an injury.
And don't get me wrong, it's going to activate different muscle groups because you are probably going to run slightly different in them. You're going to activate your calves a little bit more.
Toes down for me.
Yeah, so you're going to extend more, which will probably like Soleus will get like ripped apart really. But then it's like, well, okay, what are you doing to combat that so it becomes stronger? But then when you wear them in a 10K, you can utilize them to their maximum ability. That's one thing I don't think people do enough. They don't see it as a performance element. They just use them, which is fair enough.
I think it's like,
if you want to use them, use them. I'm not going to, you're going to keep masseurs in business. So that's great because you're going to end up, or physios, because there's a potential that you're going to end up needing a really, really aggressive calf massage at some point. Potentially. But then some people I see that use them all the time.
I think there's a hypothesis about, so I would guess that people save their carbons for race days, for a mental boost.
Definitely, yeah.
So I think there's a value add to that.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're saying that the contrasting risk is that actually you're just not trained enough in those shoes.
So the aftermath is just...
So if it's a long distance endurance event...
Marathon,
you're just going to be stuffed.
Absolutely, it's going to kill.
Okay. What do you think is the most common thing that holds back athlete development?
As in being coached. Like if I have an athlete, I think there's this word that's floated around a lot now called coachability. What's your coachability?
Okay.
So like, how open are you to coaching?
So you've got a score for all your athletes.
Yeah. I rate them from 1 to 10, and I see what that day's
the worst ones
that's
today.
it. Yeah, I think to name and shame everyone. Coachability, like effectively, I would arguably say that in my early 20s, I wasn't as coachable as I would be now.
Okay, and what do you think is the reason for that?
I said, because I had like theories on things already.
So your ears are closed.
Yeah, a little bit, like not massively.
Okay.
But it was like I already understood quite a bit. So if a coach didn't back up what they were doing with good science, it was hard for me to take.
Yeah.
However, they're way more experienced than me, so they know it's tried and tested. But I like someone to, like all of us, I like someone to say, go and do this zone 3 block for 30 minutes. And why? What's that helping with? Well, it's probably going to be right underneath your lactate threshold turn point, 4 millimole-ish, just a guess. That's going to allow you to utilize lactate and flush it out and then become stronger. And then, you know, that sort of thing. Athletes don't always ask me questions enough. I actually ask athletes to ask me questions. I want them to know, like, if you know while you're doing something, the accountability is going to be more. So you're going to be like, I know why I'm doing this.
I think I'm the same as you.
Yeah.
I think I need to understand the why.
Yeah.
Because I won't just go and blindly do something if my brain... Because I guess you, me, people that are really interested in...
Yeah, we are interested, aren't we? Yeah.
And we want to get better.
Yeah.
So you're always kind of trying to work out, what's this for? Is this going to work? Am I getting better?
Yeah.
So actually, if you're not able to or share the why, it's not inspiring to go and do that work.
Some people don't want to know.
But ignorance is also bliss for some people.
So it is, yeah.
I'm just not that person.
No, I completely.
Too stressed out.
Yeah.
I need to know what's going on.
You do like a question.
Dan, what is it we're doing today and why are we doing it?
And you're like, sorry, I'm bothering you. I just need to know. And I'm like, no, it's fine.
You
like,
do feel
ask,
like
ask a question.
a hassler though if you do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that.
But then it's nice for someone just to apologise for it, because some people ask questions and just want to know, like they want to bleed you dry of your information.
And they're not considerate of you.
And they're not considerate of
I'm not going to tell you who it was, but I did speak to one of your athletes.
Did you really?
and what they said to me was one of the lovely things about training with you is that they've got access to you, they can ask you questions, but they do probably hold back 1 in 3 because it feels like a rash all the time otherwise, because they're just desperate to
they're like throwing up through text message about questions about what they
So I'm not going to expose this individual.
No.
But this person said,
maybe we'll get them on and secretly name and shame them.
Remember episode 1?
Yeah.
So they don't want to harass you essentially, but they respect, you and the fact that they can get that information from you.
Yeah, and I try my best to credit in my social life to be around. Like, I like to be around for people. Rightly or wrongly, in 5 years' time, I might resent it, but like for 5 years, it's been great, and I love it, and I enjoy helping people. Like, it's not like I'm not obsessed with helping people, But if someone's got a question, I want to answer it. Yeah. It's important for them to know why they're doing something, and I know that they'll get better. And then if they improve, at the end of the day, it's what I do for a profession. And if they become world champion and then stop racing, then someone else then they'll hopefully pass that on. And then that other person will come to me and then they'll break their PB or whatever it is.
Yes.
So your reputation's important. I've had quite a bit of stuff about reputation this year, so it's rightly or wrongly just you've got to keep working and going the right way, haven't you?
Expand on that for us then, Dan.
No, I don't want to expand.
Okay. Should we come back to that?
We'll come back to that in episode 10.
Episode 25.
25.
Okay,
year.
Cool. So I'm going to ask you some quick fire stuff.
Good.
Just a couple of quick questions.
Sounds good.
Just yes or no.
Yep.
Or this or that.
Okay. I'm going to be as quick as possible.
There's about 4 questions.
That's fine. Yeah.
So don't worry.
No. I'm going to try and shoot from the hip.
Okay. Yeah. So don't think about it. Running in the rain, yes or no?
No.
Oh.
But I do it.
We're going to come back to that. Okay. Running when you're ill, yes or no?
Big no. Massive no.
Massive no.
Massive no.
We're definitely coming back to that.
Yeah.
5K or marathon?
5K.
Oh, you thought about it? Okay.
I've definitely done more marathons, probably.
And then this is just topical. CrossFit or High Rocks?
High Rocks, yeah. Although I do coach some CrossFitters.
I'm just going to say, your athletes are mainly CrossFitters, so you're going to upset that. You don't have to say it because you sat next to me.
Like coaching an athlete going to the CrossFit Games. So, yeah, but I do like High Rocks. Okay. I do quite like High Rocks. I like what they've done.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's become a really popular brand.
Oh, it's so clever.
Hot take, though.
Yeah.
Thoughts on 14, 15 stone men running 3-minute kilometres? how much do you buy into how that's policed?
Oh, High Rocks.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't even.
You've
How
got
is
big
it? It's not policed. And do you
Well-
mean how detrimental it's going to be to their house after they just have to push a sled and almost have a heart attack and then go and run? Okay.
Well, I'm just wanting to see the coach's take. So really, we talk a lot about, you know, your
Yeah,
marathon
but
pace.
People die, like people literally die in triathlon. Someone else died at Swansea at the weekend.
Crikey, okay.
Yeah, so like, I think in other countries you have to have like a house.
Like a check.
You have to go to doctors basically. And
France do that, I think.
I think you're right. And you have to get a certificate, a medical certificate before you. So when you sign up to an Ironman or a race or an endurance event, I don't know, where do you draw the line with that though? 5K, 10K, half marathon, like anything over so much.
Some people do a High Rocks for over 2 hours.
Exactly, but like some people do it in less than an hour. So do they need it, or do the 2 hours need it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, where do you draw the line? But something does need to be done.
Yeah.
Something kind of does need to be done, because people are dying. Could you save their life by doing like an assessment in January? I don't know, or February before you sign up. Maybe you probably could.
Okay.
Because they go, you've actually got something underlying. You've got really high blood pressure. If you start running 20 miles a week for the next 3 months, there's a chance that something might happen. Or if you go and do a High Rocks and push a sled, that's what, 210K if you do the pro. And
150 to 200, something like that,
yeah. That might actually send you into like a cardiac arrest.
So maybe don't do that.
Well, yeah, but they'd be like, you've got high cholesterol, so there's a chance a blockage might move around. And this is obviously me just shooting from the hip on this, but yeah, I do think something probably needs to be done.
And it's done better in sort of Ironman.
As a country, yeah.
In the sports that you sort of traditionally train for, is it looked after better?
No, it's the
not.
same. No,
So,
like
okay.
you could just enter a marathon.
It's just
tomorrow, can't you?
When I did Bristol, somebody died.
Yeah,
and it was tragic. But I just don't know how you fix that.
Oh no, like I said, you could. I mean, and a lot of these things they're free, can't they? You know, they claim if you lock 50,000 people in a room for a day, there's a chance that someone's going to have a heart attack.
Well,
you know, because it's like football stadiums. They happen in football stadiums, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Which you can't just get a health screening for a football game. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, maybe like other countries do it, so why don't we do it?
Yeah.
But then that would put even more stress
on the whole process.
On the whole process of the NHS and then signing up. Maybe we should set up clinics that people go to.
Next to come from A1 Physique is a
clinic,
health check to see, are you good to go?
Are you good to go?
Yeah.
Before you start your Zone 2 training.
So
before you start your Zone 2 training,
we'll give out
and
collagen
visit
coffees.
the shop for your running trainers. You've got to go and see your health. Yeah. But I do think that should be, there's got to be something.
Look after yourself.
Yeah, I do stuff. I go and get bloods done every now and again.
Okay.
And just to see if there are underlying things through the winter. You know, I feel quite weak in the winter most of the time anyway, so if someone can help me out, then that helps.
Well, I want to come on to so the final topic I want to touch on today is your own routine, how you stay in such, year-round good shape, and basically just your secret remedies, Dan. So you stay fit quite often. What are your tips for runners that are...
We have this, don't we? We have this like illness thing we share. We try and stay. We are waiting for a silver bullet, really, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, I have my own things, but I was hoping that as a coach, Dan, you had these sort of black book of remedies.
I have spent years trying to not get poorly.
Yeah.
And do you want to know the biggest thing to not get poorly? When you feel a little bit down, don't train that day.
Okay. Because you said earlier, don't run in the rain, but you do it, and then don't run when you're ill. So let's talk about those then.
I've probably done both a lot too many times.
Why not the rain?
Because it will lower your immune system, because it's it's likely to be colder.
Okay, so the cold lowers your immune system, going to get ill.
Yeah.
And then...
Also, injury risk, like you generally could fall over. Okay. But I'm not saying don't run in the rain. I'm just saying I prefer not to run in the rain. However, I run in the rain a lot.
Okay, so do as I say, not as I do.
Well, just be smart. If you don't have to... So Geraint Thomas, a famous Tour de France cyclist, if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah.
Actually got his own podcast. He literally wrote in his book he would never ride in the rain unless it was his job, because it is grim. So running in the rain is definitely easier than riding in the rain.
Yeah.
Swimming in the rain is fine, doesn't make a difference, funnily enough.
Most of your body's under the water.
Yeah. Anyway. So like I have swam open water in the rain quite a few times, doesn't really make a difference.
Okay.
Riding in the rain is the worst thing in the world, because you physically get cold because you're wet and then the wind chill cools you down.
when you're running in the rain against your own advice,
Yeah.
what is it that's driving that?
I'm just passion to get better.
You just like sod it. I've planned to go out because this happened to me this week.
Yeah.
So it said I do check the weather, so I try my best to stay.
Dry.
Get my vitamin D and not be in the rain.
Course.
But it said no rain till 9 a.m. At 6 a.m. pouring with rain.
Yeah.
I'd committed that I was going to run that day, so I went out.
This was Tuesday, I imagine, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I missed it.
People were on my side. God was on my side that day because it stopped raining 20 minutes into the run.
Yeah.
But you're saying that it's just when you've committed to that run.
Yeah, you just got to do it. I mean, if you've got a treadmill, then just hit the treadmill. And it's warm inside, you're dry. Yeah, it's like, it's very rare that you will run in the rain and not get cold.
Okay. So it's about immunity and health.
Yeah, immunity and health, yeah. I mean, if I could, try and miss all of that, then, but it's just hard, isn't it, with life?
Okay. It's not a perfect science, but best as you can.
Yeah.
Hit the treadmill.
Yeah.
And then finally then, running when you're ill. The
big
no.
Yeah. The problem is, you do the damage when you're not sure you're that ill.
Okay.
That's the problem, isn't it? Because there are lots of times you go to train, running, gymming, whatever it is you want to do. We're not just a running podcast. We're a bit of a generic. We haven't decided what we are yet.
We'll start with running. We'll
start
evolve.
with running. We'll evolve.
We'll evolve.
But there are times when you run and you're all right, but you didn't feel great before you went out the door. And you're fine.
Most of the times
Most of the time. Yeah, most of the time. So it's hard to deviate between the two. But what I would say is, when you got that tickle in your throat and you feel like your temperature's up a little bit, just don't run.
What would you do? Because I think people like you and I that are passionate and clearly want to exercise and do more, what would you do instead?
Roll, stretch, relax.
Strength? Light strength?
Probably not.
Okay.
I would just make sure your body is
walk.
In full. No.
I'm trying my best, guys.
No.
I want something for you.
Get on the foam roller.
Foam roller?
Yeah, get on the foam roller.
Okay.
Get on the foam roller and just iron out all the cracks. Have a great night's sleep or easy day, and then just go again tomorrow. And there's a great chance your body is, if you're exercising and you're healthy, there's a good chance you'll fight it off. But then you go out, it gets into your immune system, it gets right in, and that's when you get the most poorly.
Yeah. So your point is basically, if you feel the start of an illness, don't run because you'll let it in.
You'll let it in. You're
let it
opening
in
the door. Yeah.
You're going to suffer more.
Yeah.
So top tip from the coach, Dan, if you're feeling sick, get on the foam roller.
Yeah, get on the foam roller.
And that's going to be our top tip from today.
I tell you what, though, it takes some serious doing, because me and you we're both guilty of going for a run and feeling horrendous. I've made myself 10 times more poorly so many times.
I think recently I've just started to, if I'm not sure, just do it easy.
Yeah. I would say I literally dodged an illness last week.
Yeah.
Mrs. was ill, and I literally wasn't ill.
Just matrixed it.
I literally, I don't even know I did it. The child was ill, Mrs. was ill. I don't even know I didn't get ill. I still don't know to this day. But because technically we're fit, we're healthy.
Yeah.
We're strapping young men.
Some might say.
Some might say. Not many.
No.
Not many.
Vanishingly thin amount of people.
Yeah, literally. It's getting lower now. We've just said it. And so we should fight this stuff off.
Yeah.
But we won't if we
push ourselves
at
the wrong moment.
At the wrong moment.
Okay. Yeah. So your advice, take a day off.
Take a day off.
Do the foam roller.
Yeah.
Have a coffee.
Yeah.
Recover.
Because truthfully, if you're questioning it, there's a chance you're going to be poorly.
You know. You do know.
Yeah, because if it's that question.
Yeah.
Should I go?
If you're asking it.
If you're asking it, it's probably a bad idea.
And it's not tiredness.
No,
it's
not tiredness.
You can feel it.
Because you know when you're tired.
It's different.
Yeah, and it's like, if you're questioning it, you shouldn't go. That's what I say to people. I mean, some people go and they're fine, but it's not very.
It's not worth the associated risk.
It's not worth it. No,
not worth it.
No, one day is not worth 3 weeks.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Top advice from you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Dan, I think I've emptied your brain.
For today.
I think we've got lots on the table, lots of advice for people. As we come back into this, we'll possibly pivot to a different subject.
Yep.
Get some more questions out of you.
Yep.
Maybe we'll centre it around one of the other disciplines that you coach.
Yep.
And potentially put this out to see what questions people want to get asked.
Yep.
And I'll take that on board for the next one.
Sounds good,
mate. Brilliant. Thanks for your time.